Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with fabulous concert program number, what number is it? 33. And it is the fifth in our series dedicated to finding really cool programs to go with Haydn's great masses, the last six that he prepared. And this one is, the Creation Mass, or Schöpfungsmesse auf Deutsch. The Creation Mass, so called because it caused a bit of a scandal, an internal scandal. I mean, not like the Rite of Spring having a riot scandal, but in the circle in which Haydn traveled, it caused a bit of a scandal because it quotes from the Creation, the oratorio that he'd written, and is just one more piece of evidence that these really are concert works as well as liturgical works. Anyway, apparently the Empress Maria Theresa was so horrified by she actually sang in the Creation, by the way, so she knew what was going on. Believe me, everybody knew what was going on. And it was a huge success, and Haydn probably thought it would be cute. I mean, he had a sense of humor and was always cheerful. And what he quoted was, at the words qui tollis peccata mundi, which is, who takes away the sins of the world, he quoted the duet between Adam and Eve from the Creation. So we know exactly which sins we're talking about. That's what makes it so much fun. Of course, anyway, the Empress was horrified, and she asked Haydn to change the music in question to remove the offending quotation, which of course he did. And nowadays, you probably can hear it either way. I don't really care. It's not important, frankly. I mean, the quotation was a purely, like I said, sort of internal matter among those who really knew Haydn. But it does say something about these works. These works are concert pieces. They are symphonic. They are colorful. They are full of character. And the fact that they are, employing a sacred text it's important. Haydn does not ignore the text. He expands upon the text. He finds, musical relationships where you wouldn't think they'd exist. And I'm going to talk about one of them particularly, which I think is really significant. One of the texts that are usually throwaways in mass settings is the Benedictus, in the sense that it doesn't suggest much in the way of word painting. Benedictus qui venit in nomine Domine, right? Blessed are those who come in the name of the Lord. And it's a nice thought, but it's not like, it's not like you can come up with wonderful imagery, like, for example, Masalov's Iron Foundry or birds and bees. But this particular mass is the most pastoral of these six Haydn masses, maybe because Haydn had the Creation very much in mind, which is one of the great pastoral exordiums in all of Western music, exordia, whatever you want to call them. And so for that reason, I have paired it with, after the intermission, Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony, number 6. Somehow they just fit together. And it's a wonderful idea, I think, because the Beethoven is an immediate audience draw, and the Haydn leads off the program. Very simple, 2 works, and they would go beautifully together. And one of the pieces that are really parts of the Mass that will really remind you of the Pastoral Symphony is the Benedictus. Haydn did amazing Benedictus settings, and it really makes sense to think of why, because I said in an earlier talk on this series that, Haydn's concept of symphonic means going somewhere, action, drama, even in parts of the Mass which are not terribly dramatic, such as the Benedictus. And the key to Haydn's setting of the Benedictus text, some of which are terrifying, very creepy, some of which are very relaxed and joyful, is that concept. Benedictus, blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Benedictus qui venit in nomine Domine. Blessed are those who come in the name of the Lord. The key is the verb, the coming. Because you can come in many ways. You can come in the name of the Lord with great fear and trepidation. You can come with, happiness and anticipation. You can come with thoughtfulness. all the different ways that you can come in the name of the Lord, Haydn finds a different one for every single one of these masses. And this one is the most entertaining of all because it is a peasant dance. It's absolutely, it's in waltz tempo. It's a Ländler, actually. It's a pre-waltz sort of tempo thing. It's a ben, 2, 3, ne, 3, dick, twos. It's rum, yum. It's a rustic, du lieber Augustine, Augustine. That kind of a tune. A German dance, perhaps. Really as secular a thing as you will ever hear in your entire life, but it suits the text because it is a way of coming in the name of the Lord from the countryside, perhaps. And it's the same thing with the et incarnatus, the and was made man text, where in the credo, where we have little birds twittering in the Garden of Eden. I mean, the Garden of Eden is like all over this Mass. It really is. So it's an absolutely splendid way to pair it with a truly wonderful evocation of the delights of the natural world in the Viennese classical style, which is Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony, the iconic representation of those things. And you will hear the similarities and enjoy them enormously, but listen to that Benedictus. It's one of the most beautiful, easeful, relaxing, delightful dance movements that you'll ever hear in a setting of the Mass. Believe you me, it's just fantastic. And it just goes to show you where Haydn's head was when he wrote this. Even if he had to take out the offending bit of music in the Gloria, the truth of the matter is that the idea of man in nature is really what this Mass is all about, as it is Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony. And so I think if you listen to them, as I suggested, the Mass and maybe, an intermission and then the Beethoven, you'll really hear that. And one piece will enlighten and deepen your understanding of the other, which is the whole point of this series. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.